Hey folks, today we're going to talk about a really fun healer going into 9.2. So, Mistweavers, if you're less familiar, have been pumping out a ton of healing in Season 2 of Mythic Plus. They've been really reliable in raids as well. Their single target throughput is among the best in the game. What we're going to do in today's guide, we're going to talk quickly about the Mythic Plus and raid builds. Overall, they're both pretty darn similar. After that, we'll jump into Covenants and then start to talk about double Legendaries and ultimately kind of wrap it up with some of the changes that we have seen here. Mistweaver isn't changing a bunch from Season 2, so keep that in mind. What you will start to see here right off the bat in Tier 1, Miss Wrap is kind of the go-to as far as the tier goes. Just giving you that additional benefit of enveloping mist. I'll drop that right now. Hard to beat. Tier 2, Tiger's Lust is my personal preference, being able to buff your tank by 70%. Tanks are always a little slow, and this usually helps us out pretty quick. Alternatively, if you need that mobility yourself, Chi Torpedo is a great way to roll. Tier 3, Manatee is the absolute go-to. It really helps us out when we start to see our mana pools starting to drop off. And then finally, Tier 4, Ring of Peace is my go-to personally. I don't think there's any situation I get away from Ring of Peace. Now, Tier 5, Dispel Magic is usually the way to go for me. Being able to reflect some magic back at the caster just kind of adds to our DPS throughput. Alternatively, you can go with Dampen Harm, and that just gives you an additional damage reduction ability on a 2-minute cooldown, which is pretty attractive. For Mythic Plus, you've got a couple of choices here on Tier 6. You can go with Summon Jade Serpent Statue. I personally really enjoy this. Not the most talented healer in the game by any means, but really kind of complements where we are. Alternatively, Invoke Chi-Ji can also really take care of your group. So it kind of just comes down to what your preferences are. Chi-Ji really helps depending on how coordinated your Mythic Plus group is, because it gives the healer basically immunity to any kind of movement impairing effects. So in the other side can be really helpful if you find yourself in a situation that you're going to see a few stuns out for the overall team. Finally, Tier 7, Rising Mist is a great, easy way to go through. Just kind of encourages the healer to continue to drop the Rising Sun kicks. Now, for Mythic Plus, that's the build. Rating is not going to change a whole hell of a lot. Tier 1, you jump over to Chi Burst. I never go with this personally, but this is recommended to get the most healing and damage throughput, because you're able to LOS effectively really easy. Hard to beat. Again, Chi Torpedo or Tiger's Lust for Tier 2. No change to Tier 3, no change to Tier 4. Tier 5, again, continues to be that same choice. Diffuse Magic or Dampen Harm. What you'll start to see, and we're going to touch on this, is with the new tier set build and the double legendaries, Refreshing Jade Wind actually starts to work its way in here as a preference. So keep that in mind. Finally, Tier 7, there's no change whatsoever. We're going to stick with Rising Mist. So that's the overall build. There's not a huge difference on either side. Now, what does start to get a little bit interesting here with our friends is we'll start to look at some of the changes as far as Covenants go. And overall, like, you're not going to change a whole lot. There's been a few buffs to Necrolord around Bountiful Brew. That's a little bit attractive. If you're a player who's looking to play Brewmaster, Windwalker, and Mistweaver, Necrolord is the go-to for Mythic Plus for both of those other specs. However, if you're really looking to min-max what Mistweaver brings to the table, you're going to go with Venthyr, and that's because being able to use that second legendary power really makes Sinister Teachings a whole lot more valuable. So even if you're not Venthyr, you want to get access to that Sinister Teachings. Really makes a massive difference once you're able to pair it with Ancient Teachings of the Monastery. That is a great combination here. The alternative that you can roll with is actually, and it's a lot more fun, to be totally honest with you. Kind of like Necrolord, Invoker's Delight is a great legendary to hook yourself up with and drive up your haste by 33% after summoning your Celestial. Like, really fun way to play from a throughput perspective. So yeah, so to quickly summarize, rating as Venthyr, you want to go with Sinister Teachings, and this will be one of your top areas. Ancient Teachings of the Monastery can be a lot of fun as well. But for rating in Mythic Plus, if you're non-Venthyr, you're going to go with Tear of Morning and basically casting Vivify or Enveloping Mist on a target with Renewing Mist has a 10% chance to spread the Renewing Mist to another target. So overall, a ton of fun. Yeah, overall Mistweaver is just in a completely great spot here as we jump into the new patch. They've been driving out a absolute ton of content. As far as some of the best Twitch streamers are out there. I really enjoy it. You will also see, if you're familiar, Rushing Jadewind is going to interact really positively with the upcoming tier bonus. And if you're less familiar with that, the Mistweaver 2-piece, so in the new raid, there's a tier set coming out. It just basically takes Essence Font's residual healing and increases it by 5% for 2 additional seconds. So not incredibly overwhelming by any means. That'll just be kind of like a passive benefit in both Mythic Plus and rating. We won't sell the farm for that by any means. What we will see that'll be awesome though is that as we get towards the Mistweaver Monk 4-piece set, so drinking Thunder Focus Tea will actually summon a Progenitor Rune of Healing, and that increases all healing dealt while inside its bounds by 450. So overall, that's pretty solid. Like, it's not the most powerful of all the tier bonuses that we see, but it really rewards like the passive approach that Mistweaver has always really taken advantage of. Shouldn't see any major changes to our playstyle. Just really buffs how we're playing today, which to me personally, I think that's excellent. So we'll keep rolling with it. So let me know, folks. Bountiful Brew if you're Necrolords, Sinister Teachings if you're Venthyr, those are going to be your 2 builds, and then you get to start to have some fun and pair them up with the different legendaries as they exist. Really hard to beat. Like, I think this is just in a fantastic spot. Mistweaver from a throughput perspective, I wasn't in love with them at all when Shadowlands first started, but yeah, load up, craft yourself the Ancient Teachings of the Monastery and tie it into your Sinister Teachings or your Bone Dust Brew, and you're going to be driving out like off the charts healing. That's it. Thanks for making it this far with me, folks. Give me some comments down below on things you'd like to see different, that I can present differently, or that I didn't cover and you'd like some more information on. Thanks for checking out the vid, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Peace.